Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing the Disneyland book tag. This tag was originally created by Rebecca from Rebecca's Grotto, so I will link her channel and her video in the description below so you can go check that out if you haven't seen it before. I have only ever been to Disneyland once that I can remember, and I have very vague memories of it. I remember being a lot of fun. I remember long lines. I remember meeting Cruella de Vil. I remember going on the Mickey Mouse roller coaster ride and going round and upside down, and I had a blast. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first question is based off of a dark or scary ride that you went on. What book that you were reading felt like you were really in that world? Now, for this one, I am going to go with this duology I have here. The first one is Malice, and the second book is Havoc. And these are comic book slash novel. They are a YA series that I read when I was a teenager, and I was a little bit terrified while reading these because these are kind of a little bit of mix of horror and fiction. It's about a boy and a girl, and they get sucked into this comic book series, and it's pretty ridiculously scary, and there's kids dying, and it's violent, but it's also really good. The story moves along quickly, the plot is intense, and I really like it. The second question is based off a thrill ride, so a book with sharp turns and unexpected drops. And for this one, I'm gonna actually go with The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. And this book is about a boy named Sage and 3 other boys who get picked by an evil nobleman to try and pretend to be the lost prince. And it's pretty much a competition. But the twist at the end of this book, I did not see it coming. It had me amazed. I really enjoyed this series, and the main character is cocky and arrogant, and I love him for it so much. He's so great. Now, the next question is pretty much based off of food. A book that you took your time reading because it was just so delicious. For that one, I'm going to have to say Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I love L.M. Montgomery and all of the Anne of Green Gables books. I own them all. But the first time I read it, I just sat and enjoyed the atmosphere and took it all in, and it's wonderful and just breathe in, and it's just one that has so much scope for the imagination. I love the main character so much. I love Anne. She's so witty and fun and full of wacky energy and has a horrible temper, which I love in characters. And I just appreciate her for everything that she is, her red hair and freckles and all of it. Question number 4 is based off of what characters you would meet when you go to Disneyland. What group of characters would you want to meet or be a part of? And for this one, I think I'm going to have to say the Lunar Chronicles. Here I have Winter, and I love all the characters in this series so much. They are just such a wacky, fun crew to be a part of, and I would love to go on the Rampion and sail around the galaxy with them. This crew of 9 rambunctious, witty, hilarious characters that just work so well together. I would love to meet them and just be with them through everything. They're just such a fun group of characters. I cannot say enough about how much I love these characters. Oh, my babies. Next question is question number 5. This one is based off of souvenirs that you get at Disneyland. And me, I really love to collect pens. I have so many different kinds of pens, and I love to collect all the pens. All the pens! Oh, they're so beautiful and useful. The question for this one is a book that stuck with you for a while after reading. For this question, I think I'm gonna have to go with a book that I just finished. That one is, ta-da, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I finished this book in a day and absolutely loved it. I think it is a must-read for everybody. It's about a 16-year-old girl named Star who lives in the ghetto, and she witnesses her best friend get shot and killed by a cop. And it's about her story and how she deals with it. It was absolutely amazing, and I just can't even stop thinking about what I read. It has definitely opened my eyes to some things that I did not see before. I would tell everybody, to pick this up and read it because it was so powerful and moving, and I think that everybody needs to know what's been happening and what's been going on, and it will open your eyes in a way that not many books do. So I would suggest to everybody to read it. Do it! I will be forcing this book upon everybody I know. The next question is based on the shows and entertainment that you see and all the parades and all that cool stuff you get to see at Disneyland. And this question, a book that was over the top that you enjoyed or disliked. Now for me, this book series has been a lot over the book community. The Red Queen. Now, I don't own the book. I borrowed it from the library and I read it, and I enjoyed it. The ending, the twist at the end was pretty interesting, but it just was not my favorite read ever. And I started the second book and I got a little bit bored and started reading other books because I have a huge TBR pile, guys, like I'm sure many of you do. But I just didn't finish it. I didn't care enough to really finish it, so I don't know if I'm going to be finishing that series. Some people have been telling me to, but I don't know. It's just one of the series that was over the top for me, and people have talked about it so much and hyped it up, and it just was not as good as I wanted it to be. Now, this next question is about shopping, and oh, there's so much shopping you do at Disneyland. So expensive, but there's so much to buy. So for the next question, a book that you went to buy the day that it was published, and for this, I'm going to have to say, Inheritance. Now, this is the 4th book in the Aragon cycle, and I waited for 4 years after the 3rd book. 4 long years! But I did wait forever, and when this came out, I was so excited to read it, and I was not disappointed. It was a fantastic read. I thoroughly enjoyed finishing the series. I recommend this series out to anybody who loves fantasy and complex worlds that have been built up. A lot of dragons in this book, as you can see from the cover, and elves and dwarves and magic and wizards and witches, and it's such a fun ride. So many great characters, and I just really love to talk about this series and force it upon people. Disneyland, there's lots of different worlds to go see and check out, and so for this question, it's what book world would you really want to go to, or what's your favorite book world? And for this one, I think I would say Harry Potter, but I feel like I want to say something a little bit different because Harry Potter's just, who wouldn't want to go to Hogwarts? I think I'm going to have to say, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I would just love to go to Narnia. I really would. I would love to go to Narnia and see all the witches and wizards and magic and centaurs and fauns and dryads and naiads and all those crazy creatures. And I would just love to go there and dress up in fine clothes and get to be a queen and fight like Lucy and Susan. I love all the different characters you get to explore in all 7 books, and it would just be such a fun adventure. Now, this next question is about the long lines at Disneyland, and we all know that those lines can be really, really long, and when I went, we didn't have fast passes, so we had to stand in all the really long lines. So much to see that I was never really that bored, and I was 10, so I was just super excited to be there. The question for this one is, what is the longest book you own? And for this one here, I'm gonna have to say Les Miserables. It's 1,229 pages, so it is a huge book. I haven't read it yet. My mom read it, but I haven't because it's just so dang big, and I have so many other books I'm trying to read right now that I just haven't delved into this gigantic book. A lot of lengthy dialogue is in this one apparently, so there's just a lot that you have to like slog through to get to the really good parts. I don't know when I will read it. Definitely sometime in my life, but just who knows when. The next question has to do with fast passes and how fantastic they are and just get to go through the lines, and it would have been nice to have had one, but we survived without it. But with this question, it is, what book did you read in one sitting? For this one, I'm going to have to go with A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and I do not own a copy of this book. I really wish I did. I read it in about 2 hours. It's just when you sit and you just read through it. Illustrations were fantastic and just made the story become more alive and more vibrant for me, at least. So I really enjoyed it. And it's about a young boy who's about 12, 13, and his mother has cancer, and he's having trouble dealing with it all, and there's this monster who comes to help him through it and tells him these 3 stories. It was a sad but thoughtful read, and I would recommend it to about anyone, really. So that was my Disneyland book tag. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want more content from me. Also, let me know down below what your favorite Disney ride was, because mine was definitely the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and I love that one so much. And when I saw the films, I loved all the films, the first 3. I love the first 3 films. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later in another video. Alright, bye!